Good evening, my friends. It has been some time that I've sat out here by the creek, sitting on this bench, alone. I'm not sure whether or not there was someone else here, someone who showed me hidden things, secret things, magical things, that it did me some good to remember to observe. It's good to remember to look closely sometimes. There's magic to be found if you do. She took her walking stick and her blindfold and she went away. And I have been sitting on this bench, looking out at the water, hoping to see those souls dancing on the water. But no such luck. It's just water. But that's a lovely gift, too. I look over my shoulder and see the tower over there. I see the dirt road beneath it. A tower and a path I have walked before. But I don't think I've ever noticed that fork in the road. It might be new. I think to myself that it's time to go back. Back to the tower, maybe. Because if I wait there long enough, perhaps he'll come back. Perhaps this time around, he won't abandon me again. But perhaps he will, too. And that's all right. We'll always find each other again. History can repeat itself. I won't mind. I would do it all again in a heartbeat. All of it. I also think I can wake up from this dream and go back to another world I know, with balconies and cars and microphones, blah, 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 blah. But there's something in there that I'm stuck on, and I feel much more unstuck here. Tower, apartment, or the path that diverges from the fork in the road. I am walking towards that intersection there. I just want to see it closer. As the sun sets and the clouds above are gray and looming, and the summer wind has something of a chill in it, I examine my 3 options. The path to the tower, the path I've already taken in my story, or this new path that seems to have a strange kind of music down its way. Someone is down that way. Someone with a song. That makes my choice very easy. I think I'll always follow music. The sky grows darker as I walk this path. The wind grows colder too. I feel a strange kind of hopelessness, which is odd because the music is kind of sweet, really. And the voice singing along to that guitar is kind of comforting too. I don't feel afraid. Just a little empty. And that's all right. Emptiness isn't necessarily bad. Well, this emptiness doesn't feel particularly good. It's just that, I don't know, at a certain point it just all is, isn't it? Good or bad, empty or full, light or dark. It all just is, and it will be what it will be. There's no good really in fighting it in either direction. Just go in a direction and see what shakes. There is a piece of fabric on the ground, torn, stained, threads coming out of it this way and that. But it is a long piece of fabric, sparkling little shining gems sewn into it. It looks exactly like what I use to wrap up my tarot cards with in One World. A piece of fabric I was given in my childhood. A piece of my sister's beautiful prom dress. I was 6 and she was 16, and it was black and had purple sparkles throughout. I thought it looked like nighttime. Sheer black over purple satin, like a galaxy. She had to have it altered, I think, and so I got to have a little piece of it. Just a bit of that magic. My own prom 10 years later wouldn't be magic, and I doubt hers was either. But that piece of fabric always was, and still is. I keep my oldest deck of tarot cards wrapped up in it. The ones I brought to my enchanted forest. The ones I shared with you 100 times. Somehow, this fabric has stretched far, 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 and it has reached my feet on this dirt path. I pick it up in my hands, and I begin to gather it up as I walk down this path, the music growing louder and louder, like Ariadne's thread, like Gretel's breadcrumbs, like a girl holding the bride's train of a wedding gown. I collect up this fabric, now in my arms, long enough to make 10 gowns over, and still it goes on and on and on. I will seek to find its source. We have dreams as humans. That is our nature, isn't it? This fabric feels like a dream to me. Like the expectation that, on the other side of it, there will be a fulfilled dream. As if life is just one long strip of fabric, and at the end, we think there will be a perfect and great garment that we will finally wear and feel at home in. Oh, I wonder what will be at the end of this one. Perhaps it will be me as a seamstress, sewing my own gown to wear with pride and dance off into the sunset with it on, headed to the ball of my dreams like a self-made Cinderella. Perhaps it will be my beloved like a handsome prince, holding it in an elaborate garment box, and with it a corsage of red roses to put on my wrist. And he will lead me there, and all will be perfect. Perhaps it will be on me as soon as I arrive, and I shall be unveiled at a gala under a spotlight to an audience of thousands of loving admirers, all applauding and cheering me on as I parade down the runway, catching roses here and there, my characters following me out in my designs, and together we will all... Oh. I'm sorry. I didn't realize there was someone else here. What are you holding in your hand, old man? He sits in a rocking chair, a wide brim hat hiding his eyes, revealing only a grin on a dead mouth, teeth decaying, a few of them gold or silver. And in his teeth he has a few pins sticking out here and there, as though he's saving them for later use. I thought I was the seamstress here, but of course I have no needles or thread. I just followed the fabric to this tailor, this dressmaker. Is that what you are, sir? He won't answer me, but he rises and pulls the fabric with a rather aggressive yank of his arms, and it all falls out of mine. No, not on the dirty road, not that, not this dreamy fabric of my youth. He takes a pin from between his teeth. A couple of his fingers are rotting flesh, but his middle fingers have been worn down to the bone, and the shiny thimbles he wears on them have been fused on, rusted over and part of his skeleton now. He walks over to a tall something that is covered with a sheet. He removes the sheet, and there is a me-sized mannequin. Faceless, but he's crudely drawn on black eyes and black lips, so I know it's me. A few crow feathers have been perhaps mockingly glued to the shoulders. He drapes the fabric in one swooping motion over the mannequin's shoulder. It is not deliberate. He does it with a little hoarse laugh, as though he knows just how careless he is being. He takes the pin and rather gracelessly shoves it through the fabric and into the mannequin's chest, right in the center. And I think that I momentarily feel a little stab in my own chest. Just a little pang, small but noticeable. He brings the fabric to my hands now, beckons me with a gesture to hold it. He does not speak. Not yet, anyway. He smells like graveyard dirt. His hat has lice and maggots in it. I cannot see his eyes, just shadow there, but with a little golden pupil faintly glowing in each of the shadow's depths. I wish he would back away, but it is not in my nature to back away, so I won't. I see, for the first time, a seam in the fabric. Yes, there is one just like it in the little piece wrapping around my tarot cards. There is a seam where the layers connect. It was the hem of a dress, after all. It makes sense. This is the place where my bit of it connects to the endless dream going elsewhere. The one pinned into the mannequin. the rest of it I think shoved in this terrible tailor's pockets. Probably endless, I imagine, as he's growing larger and larger before my eyes, towering over me, and still growing as we speak. I feel very small as he takes out a device from his hat. It's a tiny fork-like thing with 2 prongs. One is long and very sharp, and the other shorter, with a little tiny red bead at the end. Its handle is leather. I remember this from when I tried to learn how to sew years and years ago. It's a seam ripper. He raises it up and towards the seam in my fabric, connecting my little bit of this dream to the rest of it. Wait. I know what you're going to do. Just wait. Just tell me why first, please. Better yet, why not sing it? It will go down easier if you sing. Everything does, I think. I am the judgment and the praise. The axe is in my steady hand. I am the one who ends your days. I am the ripper of the strand. I am the one you do not see. I am hidden in your dreams. I am the raven's nightly shriek. I am the ripper of the seams. I am the dirt your flesh will be. I am the dust inside your heads. I am the last face you will see. I am the ripper of the threads. I am the grinning moon above, the shovel in the fresh dug ditch. I am the one you'll come to love. I am the ripper of the stitch, of the stitch. I can't ever hate a monstrous singing thing. He's going to tear up the fabric. The path will be unclear. I don't know if he means to frighten me with it. Or maybe he does. Maybe he's testing me. He's as big as a tower now. But what I do notice is that the fabric is still intact and in my hands, and so is the seam-ripping device. The little fork, one long end, one short, with a red stoppage bead there. there are always new paths to take. And I will delight in every single one of them. The sound a seam ripper makes when it tears through thread is very satisfying. Feeling the thread give way so easily under the sharp blade is like a release, a letting go. I keep my bit of fabric. I let the rest stay with the rotting, stitch-ripping tailor and his facsimile of me. They are small once more. Not small, just as big as me. He nods, tips his hat, and goes on humming and working someone else's long and dreamy fabric. Nighttime now, and the sky is clear and full of stars. I remember that I can fly, so I do. And I go back to my balcony with my flowers and plants and herbs and fruits and cat and beloved, who holds me tight. He is behind me. I didn't even see him yet. I knew he was there. And he squeezes and tells me how well I did. I knew you wouldn't abandon me. I think about all the other fabrics I can weave, like a spider. And I look down and see the dirt path below. That newly formed fork in the road, still there. One side narrows into a sharp point as it disappears over the moonlit horizon. The other side, however, stops abruptly, with a little red stop sign at the end of it, like a shiny, little, red bead. Hello, my friends, and thanks so much for joining me for episode 276 of On a Dark, Cold Night. This is your host, writer, narrator, podcaster, composer, seamstress, etc., Kristen Zaza. I hope you're doing well. It's almost the end of the school year. Almost time for a break for me. I'm so excited, and I thank you for bearing with my uneven release schedule as I look forward to getting back on track for the summer. The plants on the balcony are thriving, the sun is warm, and we can spend time growing our hearts and relationships and calm and all the other things that sometimes take a back seat when we're pushing through towards a finish line. Almost there. Many thanks going out as always to everyone who supports the show on Patreon, and shout out especially to my newest Patreon supporter, Botoxed Soul. Thank you so much for joining me there, Botoxed Soul. I so appreciate you. On Patreon, every supporter of $1 or more a month US gets access to my complete and downloadable soundtrack, while supporters of $5 or more a month US get that, a monthly tarot reading video every full moon, and a weekly bonus meditation called Quick Moment Meditations. There are 67 of those so far, and I'm going to get to 70 and then change gears by switching to a new, exciting, different perk. This is going to be announced soon, but I'm really excited about it. Of course, all $5 Kindred Spirit patrons will still have access to all of the bonus meditations, but you'll also get access to something new very soon. And that's, of course, along with the tarot readings, which are going to continue. So stay tuned. You can also join the Patreon group for free to just stay in the loop with all of this. You can do so at patreon.com/darkcoldnight. You can also donate one time only without any perks at ko-fi.com/darkcoldnight, or by buying a t-shirt or hoodie at bonfire.com/on-a-dark-cold-night. I would love if you left me a rating and a review on Spotify, Apple, Podchaser, Facebook, or wherever else you like to rate and review podcasts. You can follow me on Facebook and YouTube under On a Dark Cold Night, on Instagram at Dark Cold Night Podcast, Blue Sky and TikTok at Kristen Zaza, or on Twitter at A Dark Cold Night. Thank you so much for being here with me. A little frightful character in the Stitch Ripper, but not one that I think we have to be so frightened of after all. There are so many different paths in our lives, none more valid or valuable or good than the others. We just need to have the courage, I think, to step down the road and find out. Thanks so much again, my friends, and sweet dreams. This podcast has been brought to you by the Sonar Network. Sonar.